You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the July 2nd meeting of the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Welcome, everyone, to the LaPorte County Commissioners meeting Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025 at 10 a.m. If everyone would stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance, would you like to lead us, Steve?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
President Connie Grammarosa,
Present.
Vice President Steve Hollifield,
Present.
and Member Joe Haney.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Consider agenda.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to remove 10A and 10B, and then to add under old business discussion of the claims being posted online.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Consider approval of the June 18th, 2025 minutes.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Consideration of claims.
Make a motion, we accept the claims as presented.
Well, we have to have the auditor read them first.
Sorry.
Payroll ending 6/27/2025, $1,519,177.71.
Make a motion, we accept payroll.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Operating expense claims, $5,138,393.08.
Motion to approve the claims as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Public comment is now open. Not seeing anyone from the public. We will close public comment. Department head comments. Do we have anyone for department head comments?
Good morning, Angie Davis, Interim Director for Facilities. I just wanted to give a little update. We know we are having issues in LaPorte Courthouse with the AC keeping up. They are working on that. They were there yesterday checking the compressor. There was an error for communication. They are back today working on that. I don't have an update as far as today what they've done, but I will have one as soon as they get back with me today. Museum elevator, I did reach out. The fixtures are still not here. They've reached out to where they ordered them from. I just lost what I was going to say. So if they do receive them, they have a crew ready for mid-July. They have no reason why they are not here, why they have not shipped. So that's where I'm at with that. Still reaching out in communication with them. Everything else is here. And then Michigan City Courthouse, we are still working on that, waiting on a couple components to finish fixing the compressors and the chiller issue we have over there. We had an issue with the doors over there. We got the exhaust adjusted yesterday so that the pressure was relieved inside. And it's a daily thing. We're checking everything and just waiting for components so that we can finish the fix.
Okay.
Other than that,
Thank you. Real quickly, I've got a question. Do you have an update for us on some of the water that leaked in at the Michigan City Courthouse? That vestibule area is the right word, but there was some water leakage there. It's probably a week or two ago.
I do not have an update on that. It did not leak the last rainstorm. I can tell you that. We did not have the water like we did the previous when we had all of the rain. I don't have any updates on that at this point.
All right, thank you.
I will get it to you as soon as I do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other department heads?
Good morning, Monique Thomas, HR Director. I'd just like to thank each one of you for attending our food truck event last month. I appreciate each one of you for attending. If you could please reach out to your colleagues on the council and let them know that they missed a nice event, and looking forward for them in the fall if they can clear their schedules and attend the one in the fall. And just got an update. We had 24 hires this month, so for the month of June.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other department heads?
Good morning.
Good morning.
If I may, I'd like to thank commissioners for approving the contract to begin the grubbing work around the county home, what I'm calling a prairie marsh now. It's a restoration project. And if I may, I have some photos, and then I wanted to tell you just briefly where we are at with that project.
Yeah, start with him and, or,
Thank you.
So the hidden treasure that was behind all of that shrubbery that was all invasive species is what you're looking at in that photo. Now, there's so many multifold benefits, I think. Number one, we were able to match your approved dollars through the MS4 with another $2,400 in cigarette tax money through SWCD. And so what that has accomplished is that's full boat taking care of the match for our Clean Water Indiana grant. So the entirety of that project from stem to stern will now be paid for through our grant. So thank you for that. And the vision for that project is to stand as a county example of our water quality overlay work, in addition to our thinking in terms of these properties. When we improve them, we improve our green infrastructure, all the ecosystem services, from the valuation of the property adjacent will increase. I've experienced that myself. You know, the county owns all that cropland to the west, so you'll see increases in valuation with improved green infrastructure next door. We're leaving all the high quality trees. We're taking out all of the invasive species. So what that means is long term for the county, it's lower maintenance. And so while we're doing these water quality overlays, you see all the ancillary benefits. And then second, if I may, I'm attending a Purdue Stormwater Drainage Conference next week. I communicated with Mr. Rosenbaum, and I'm in a process. It was a little bit of a short leash. So it's in state, it's at Purdue University. It takes place at Stewart Center. I picked this conference over some others that were a little pricier where I wasn't getting much out of it. I'm gonna get 7 PDH credits for my certification out of this. Also, it right down the center addresses what I'm experiencing here in the county, in that we're dealing with, when the complaints come in, has more to do with drainage and quantity issues with our stormwater than it does quality. Our farmers in the county are doing a great job with their cover cropping. I've observed these streams after storms events. I know as a stormwater professional what's happening is we're experiencing a lot of sedimentation due to quantity issues. And so you have to, as a stormwater professional, tie these two concepts together. And that's why I like this particular conference. I also like the fact all of the presenters are professionals. All of them come from a mix of private sector and academia. Purdue's leading the charge on campus with the way they handle their stormwater. So you're going to see examples there. For $300 and $120 one night stay, a lot of bang for the buck for the county. So I've got to fill the voucher out because, like I said, it was a short leash. So
Long term on this marsh project, what do you see happening? I mean, you talked one time in my office about a walk path and then possibly homes could be developed out there somewhere. Is that the long-term plan?
So the 2 young ladies I took the picture of, there's a purpose for that. One is from Resilient, Indiana.
Okay.
The other is our Clean Water Indiana intern. And they're doing a biological inventory of that site. So they're collecting baseline information. If we show the work on that site from the planning through the restoration work we're doing, it'll present more grant-making opportunities for things like the trails, the overlooks, so we can really create a destination out of that.
Okay.
What's incredible about that striking marsh that was hidden is the bird population. And so I'm seeing something like an overlook and trails in there, and an opportunity for us to demonstrate at the county what we're all about when it comes to stormwater. So
Yeah, because that probably takes everything off the highway and
yeah,
everything.
it's collecting all the local watershed runs right to that old Kettle Lake. That's why it's filled in. You know, you're watching succession of a lake. So once upon a time, that Kettle Lake would have looked like some of our other lakes without the dredging. So you see that marsh habitat that's occurring. It's fantastic. There, you know, we're sitting on that, and it's something that is actually nicer than the marshes that you see in the Indiana Dunes. So that's why I wanted to open it up and increase our opportunities on that project. And thank you very much for approving it at front end.
thank you.
So I just want to be really, you know, conscious of the dollars we spent, that they're not taxpayer dollars. It's all coming from outside general fund.
We really do appreciate the hard work that you're doing. I mean, it's amazing how not only are you doing the work, you're actually figuring out how to get the funding done as well. So we do appreciate that.
Appreciate it very much. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Department head comments. Any other department head comments? Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Lehners, Health Department. I just want to let you know that our online payment system is up and operating. We did kind of a slow roll into it to make sure we had not all the bumps, but most of the bumps worked out. But we can do birth and death certificates online, genealogy searches, food vendors temporary. We've had several of our fair vendors take advantage of it, as well as pool and tattoo parlors be able to do all of it online now. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Any other department heads? Seeing none, we're going to close department head comments. Moving on. Request. Consider travel permission to New York City for APPA Summer Training Institute. It would run from August 24th through the 27th. And to present, Steve Irick.
Good morning. This APPA is the American Probation and Parole Association. They have 2 annual conferences. This one is the summer conference. It's in New York. There are 3 staff, I think, that will be attending. Some plans are still up in the air. But the training we receive through the American Probation and Parole Association is bar none the best kind of training you can receive because it's gathering information from the entire country. As you know, probation officers are required to receive continuing education to maintain their license as a PO, probation officer. And additionally, the whole conference, hotels, flights, food will be covered by probation user fees.
I make a motion to approve your request to travel.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 So I figured I'd be up here, I'd ask you something else, rather than department head comment. But we are having 2 retreats this year, one in July, one in October, requesting permission to purchase food for both of those events. That money will come out of probation user fees, not tax money.
You already had it approved through the council.
Council already said okay, because I was there first, so.
What's the pleasure of this?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank
you.
Thanks, Steve.
Consider travel permission to Phoenix for biannual Heart Safe Cardiac Arrest Survival Summit. It would be from December 2nd through the 6th, and Amanda Lanyards will be presenting.
Good morning, me again. I would like for 2 employees to attend this summit. It only happens once every 2 years. As you know, we are hiring a project specialist to lead the way for LaPorte County to become a heart-safe community, and this is a very big conference for that. I think it just worked out perfect that we're just starting our program in this next conference where we be able to learn best practices, what's worked, what hasn't worked in the different communities, so we can make it a successful program here in LaPorte County. And I do have all the funds in my budget currently.
What's the pleasure of the commission?
I'll make a motion we grant this request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Consider 2 sick days paid for retiring employee out of the clerk's office. They have met all the requirements. So what would be the pleasure of the,
This lady's retiring, correct? After
She is
22 years.
correct?
I make a motion, we grant that request.
I'll second for discussion.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
It's my understanding that there was a termination that also occurred in regards to this, which would then not make the sick pay or the pay for the 2 sick days eligible. I know there's consternation there. I think we probably it'd be better to table this until we can figure out exactly
I think
what happened with the situation.
our attorney can give us some clarity on this.
So this was referred to Mr. Friedman. Mr. Friedman's handling it. But right
Can you,
now,
is your mic on?
it is.
Okay.
But right now, there's a motion and a second as to whether to pay. So if that motion passes, then that motion passes, unless somebody seconds Mr. Haney's motion to table, and then that gets voted on. So that's where we're at, because you did make a motion, right?
I can do that. I apologize. Yeah, I'll make a motion to table.
But we already have a motion on the table.
Correct, but he's moving to amend that motion and asking that it be
Question I have.
hold on, and asking that it be tabled. So
The question I have in the email chain, first the clerk congratulated her for a great job and everything else, then all of a sudden, boom, she wanted to fire
so
her.
I guess I'm sort of concerned about discussing this in
Okay.
open
So we have,
because of potential, if there is potential litigation, because there is something going on there. It's my understanding.
Okay.
okay, so currently we have a motion and on the table to pay this out.
Okay, and then you have which Mr. Haney's motion is a motion to amend, so that would have to be.
So would someone like to second his motion to amend? Okay, so the amendment dies.
That
So we have
fails.
we have the original motion. I will second that motion. Do we have any,
Motion was already seconded.
Yeah, we
Joe
did.
Joe
So
second.
you just need to call the vote.
okay, so
And I
in
would.
favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to vote nay just because I just don't have enough information to make an informed decision right now.
Okay. It passes.
Thank you.
Moving on, old business has been pulled from the agenda, so we'll jump right into new business.
I think there was one added, C was added.
Yeah, just the one for discussion of getting our claims posted online. I think after some discussions with some of the various folks, I hadn't had a chance to catch up with our auditor yet, but the board had voted it was back in January, if I remember correctly, to not publish our claims in the newspapers to save money. And obviously, I believe it was the intent of the board to not share that information with the public, but rather to do cost-cutting measures because we were going to post it online. We're now obviously in July, and we haven't had those posted online. So is there something that there was a motion that was passed to direct our IT director to get those posted online before this next meeting? Is there anything that we can do as a board to facilitate getting these claims posted online? And obviously, what was motioned to have the claims put online has been a couple times now said that we just redact the juror names. The rest of it gets put online.
So I believe that the problem is that, and this is a discussion, correct? So I think the problem is that we need to go through our secretary. I know it was our, you had designated the IT director and our assistant. And the reality, it needs to go through the secretary because the secretary is the one who actually does all when our purchase orders are made and whether it's decided, whether it's legally bounded and that those are the right purchase orders that we're supposed to be paid out, that goes to the auditor's office. So I think that there needs to be an involvement by the auditor. He's not only our secretary, but he is the auditor, and he would be working on those purchase orders. Would you agree? Would you like to weigh in on this?
Yeah, and I have no problem with trying to find a format that works, but we have not had a proper discussion, and it wasn't until after the meeting that there was a mention about the jurors, which was a concern beforehand. So there's no true guidance and discussion on it, and to bring it up in public rather than when I'm here every day and you show up 10 minutes every day and you don't, make a phone call, send an email, and then bring it out in the public like this. I think that's unprofessional, and I'd be more than happy to help work this out. But this is the information that comes out of the financial system, which I'm the one who is responsible for that financial system. So the problem that I had with it before is that you asked two people who are not responsible for information to release it. And so also the format, there's some complications with it. Claims are done in groups. It's not just one long list where we can just print one report. So we have to combine groups. So we have to be able to put it in a good order so that people can see, and not everything that you see on your listing is necessary. We don't need to have check numbers. It's okay to have a date that's out there. It's okay to have who's being paid as long as it's not a juror, and the amount and what fund it's coming from and where it's coming from. That's not a problem. But it is a problem gathering that information. And and when we have a further discussion, then I'll start contacting our software company to create that list. But until we start having a discussion, I don't know where to work with it. So
Okay.
I welcome the discussion outside of this meeting.
Sure. So you've been here sitting through all these meetings since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but you haven't addressed me on it. You addressed other people.
Sure. So
things out there,
I'm
and we
curious.
didn't work anything.
One person talk.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So I'm curious. Coming into this year, it was never a problem to have a list of the claims listed so they could be published in the newspaper. How is it any different from sending that information, which was easily done by your predecessors, sending that information in the newspaper versus just posting it online? I'm not sure I'm trying to figure out the disconnect there. You talk about how difficult it is to come up with this information. It was never difficult in the past to come up with to get to the newspapers. So why is it difficult now?
Well, it would be nice if the predecessor would have shared some information, but that did not happen on how anything was done. Anything's disappeared. So if you want to go into that discussion, I'll be happy to go into it, but not here again in public.
Well, no. Again, you're coming up with some things that I didn't mean this as an attack. I just thought this would be an easy thing to say. I'll happily get to the auditor. But your chief deputy is the former two-term auditor in that office. She never had any issue getting those claims put together.
Can we take this offline? Would it be okay to take this offline and you can have a discussion?
I think
we need to move this meeting forward.
Sure, I agree with that, and I didn't mean it as an attack. But if you just instantly shot back at me and spouting some various things that either aren't true or just flat out lies, so it's not appropriate.
Watch out
for
when
you.
you talk about who's.
Hold on.
Oh, that's enough, everybody.
Gentlemen, can we move on now? We got our points out.
Moving on.
Is that okay to move on?
Well,
Is it okay, Mr. Rosenbaum, to move on? Yes?
Yes, it is now.
Mr. Haney?
sure.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Can
new
we, well,
business.
just real quick, just from a base standpoint, how do we, without getting into any of the past, how do we make sure that we get these claims? Because we're now 6 months behind on getting claims out to the public. How do we, so they know what we're voting on here every day?
Can you have a discussion
How do we?
when you're here go down to the auditor's office and get that straightened out?
Sure. Will you be willing to have that discussion?
He's here all the time.
I'm willing
So
to
am I.
have the discussion. I'm going to recommend that we do it tomorrow, if
Okay.
that's okay with you.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, moving on, new business. Consider proclamation recognizing pretrial probation and parole supervision week.
Good morning.
Good
Again.
morning. Again.
So thank you for allowing me a moment to speak on this. I'm here today to request your support in signing a proclamation recognizing Pretrial Probation and Parole Supervision Week, which will be observed this year from July 20th through July 26th. This national recognition, led by the American Probation and Parole Association, highlights the essential work of professionals in community supervision. In LaPorte County, that includes not only our probation officers and pretrial staff, but also our drug court, veterans court, and reentry court teams, as well as our dedicated support staff. These individuals work every day to promote public safety, ensure accountability, and connect people with the tools they need to rebuild their lives. They do this work with professionalism and compassion, and often without much recognition. This proclamation is one way to say thank you. So I want to thank you for your continued support of our department and the people that make this work possible, and I hope that you're able, I should say, to sign the proclamation, which I believe I sent to you guys, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then I will copy those off and make sure each staff has a copy.
What is the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion to accept this proclamation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Thank everyone
Thank you.
for
Yeah,
us.
I
On
will.
behalf
And
of the
you'll-
commission, I believe we all believe they're doing a great job. So
Thank you. And I'll get this from Diane, I guess.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When is the actual week? Is this the week?
It's July 20th through 26th.
July
And-
20th through
Yep.
26th. Okay, moving on. Consider the LaPorte County Public Library appointment replacing a resignation.
I had a gentleman reach out to me about wanting to be appointed to that. Daryl Borton from Michigan City. He would request that we appoint him.
Do we have any other nominations? That's a nomination. Do we have any other nominations?
Since this nomination is coming out of the more southern part of the county, I would make a nomination to nominate Todd Reinhardt.
So we have two nominations. Can we have a roll call?
Connie Grammaros.
Daryl Borton.
Steve Hollifield.
Daryl Borton.
Mr. Healy.
Todd Reinhardt.
Thank you. It's 2-1.
Moving on, consider ordinance regulating disclosure use of public records for commercial purposes. Can you help us out with this?
So over the last number of months, we've been getting inundated with public access or public records requests, not from individuals seeking information, which is clearly discoverable under it, but from commercial entities just seeking us to do their work and tabulating and formulating lists and providing them information where they can go ahead and solicit customers. So in order to curtail this, if we have an ordinance where we're able to inquire whether it's this is for commercial purposes solely, and if we're mistaken and it's not, we just ask that they sign an affidavit saying that what they're requesting is not for commercial purpose, and then we will provide the information. Because every time one of these comes in, the office has to stop what they're doing. They have to go and try to search, figure out. They have to tabulate everything, put everything together, and then send it to my office for a cursory review, which uses our time and resources. And if it's for purely commercial purposes, like soliciting people who might have excess funds from a sheriff's sale, they can get that information on Odyssey and do the work themselves. And so that's the intent of the ordinance. Has nothing to do to curtail the average individual who wants to seek purchase orders, who wants to see claims, who wants to request records from the jail, nothing along those lines. You know, we've received, for instance, a few in the past that we've recently received is they wanted all the invoices from all the companies that do drug testing at the Community Corrections Service. And so my response was, why are you seeking this? Oh, so we can go ahead and try to get that work. You know, if they want to bid the work, they can go ahead, or if they want to solicit the work, they can go and make an appointment and meet with the folks. So those are the types of things that we're receiving, and that's what this is seeking to address. Not to curtail anybody's ability to receive information if it's appropriate under APRA.
So this is our information that's already readily available, but like you said, they should have to do the work, not us.
Well, I mean, a lot of it is not because they're calling up and asking for lists. And
Okay.
lists, a lot of times we don't have, but we can sort for them and,
Okay.
and do those types of things. But, like, for instance, the sheriff's sale information, they can go, or foreclosures, they can go and pull up every foreclosure in Odyssey, but then they have to go through and look at every file and take a look at every file, and they have to do the work. It's readily available to them.
So do we need a motion to read by title only?
That would be the, yeah.
First one. I'll make a motion we read by title only.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So read by title.
Ordinance number 2025-3. An ordinance of the County of LaPorte, Indiana, regulating the disclosure and use of public records for commercial purposes and protecting certain lists from disclosure under the Indiana Access to Public Records Act, IC 514-3. Okay, no need to vote. It's first reading.
Okay, moving on. Consider discussion at animal shelter. I like to say that we've had a director who started a couple months ago, and she did a fabulous job. Rachel Delaney, she came into our center, and it was a mess. We gave her a team of Darlene Hale and Diane Gonzalez. They helped out with the paperwork. Rachel took over the department. She did a great job. She has served us very, very well. She turned in a resignation, and at this point, she will be leaving us on July 11th. And what I'd like to do is make sure that we have an interim director starting on the 14th. So she would leave on that Friday, and then on the 14th, because our next meeting isn't until the 18th, I believe that we need a director immediately, and that would be Brooke. We don't have her last name written down. You ladies would like to come up? What is Brooke's last name? Does anyone know? Would you like to come up, Brooke? Kegabom. So we would like to...
Kegabine.
Kegabine.
I hope that was right.
So Brooke Kegabine. So could we have a motion to, or consideration to put her in as the interim director starting July 14th, so we don't have a break?
I'll make that motion.
I will second that with one discussion point. Instead of the 14th, since that shelter runs constantly,
Well, it
we should
would
have her
have to
point
be-
the 12th.
Okay.
The 12th is fine.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And again, I know, Rachel, you're in the audience, and I just really like to thank you for your service. You did a wonderful job for us, and we really appreciate you, and we wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Turn off your microphones.